zone, such as this area here for the main dining area, has built-in speakers in the walls. There's sound that will come out into this room. It's going to be controlled by a wall control. It's going to be inside the service bar area. And I'll show you individually the wall controller for your area. You have selections of sources that you can use from 3 different media servers, CD player, there's also local iPod input interfaces. You'll have individual level control from the volume controller on the wall for each one of those sources. And then there's a master volume control that controls the entire area of the town. And it's all push, rotate, push, rotate. Very simple to operate. And we'll begin with that now in this area. We have several volume controls scattered around on the first floor. There's one located back in the chest area that controls the back kitchen speakers. The one that's going to be inside the wall here that we're going to move in there in just a little bit will control the main dining area. The one over here on this wall that we can demo on actually is just for this communal table, which is for local sources for that communal table. All right. There's also another volume control located back here in the vault for the personal dining room, so it has its own sound system to support that area. The gift shop will have one that covers the outside hallways by the elevators, the other speakers in the ceilings in that area. All right. The video gallery has its own speakers in the ceiling. Those all come down to a wall interface, which allows whoever is showing artwork in that area to bring their own sound equipment in, hook into those speakers, and put what they want on those in that area. So it is not tied into the main sound system, just for your information. All right. If you want to come over here and look at this wall control, I'll demo how you operate. And to begin with, the wall plate here on the upper wall, that's where the white wall plate is where the controller is going to be for the main dining area. All right. It will look just like this unit right here. First of all, you just press the button to wake it up. Right here in the front. You rotate this around, it actually scrolls to show you your sources. Right now, there's a little icon right here by Media Server 2 that indicates that it is the one that's feeding this area. If I want to change that, say I want to come down to an iPod jack, I can select that. It changes. Now I have source level control for that device. And that's individual for each one of these sources. Press it again. I scroll all the way to the bottom. Here's the main speaker level. I press that. I rotate it. This changes the main speaker level.
For the device that you previously selected.
This is for everything. No matter what you selected in the source, the main volume controls the speakers in the room. Okay? But if you're switching between one and the other, and it's a little bit different, and you just want to kind of balance it out, this allows you to do that. So I can press that again. This is my main level. If I want to turn them all the way off, I just scroll down. It's all the way off. Set at whatever level you want. Press it again. I can come up, I can select the CD player now as my source and do the same thing there. I can change its source level to balance what I had before. So it's just a way of tweaking the levels. Okay?
What is the one for the main dining room?
This is the one for just this communal table. There's a speaker right over top of the table that's hidden inside the sheetrock. You can't see it, but it's there.
Okay.
All right? They originally had this out here in the hallway, but since you're right here, we decided to be a little more useful for you to have it right here where the speaker
And
is.
what's the one for if it's just coming from the main speaker and not like, or if you don't want it playing from an iPod or something, but just like the normal
You can change it to either one of these. There are 3 media servers that's going to be in the basement.
Like Pandora.
Yeah, they'll have music playing on them all the time. And you can, whatever they decide to name them, we'll come back in and put the names here to tell you what they are. Right now, we don't know. So, right now, we just have it set up as the 3 media servers. There's also 2 iPod jacks. That's in the rack room itself. That's if somebody wants to bring something in, play through the whole building, they can. They have 2 sources for that. And then you also have a rack mount CD player that you can set up to continuously play. Okay? So that's how the volume controls, and this is true for all areas. Any of these areas that have these volume controls does the same thing for their local area. And then once we have a chance to meet with whoever's in charge of what sources they want where, we'll customize these to give you just the ones that you need in this area.
And if we want the same server to play throughout the private dining room, the communal area, and the restaurant, we just set each one of them to the same
That's correct.
day?
That's correct.
There's not one panel somewhere where you can
Not one
select
master,
all?
not for
Okay.
these different rooms,
Okay.
no. No, they're all set up as discrete selectors, the way they designed it,
Okay.
okay?
And where is the actual place for the CD player and the iPod? Like, you may have mentioned that,
Okay.
I'm sorry.
There is one iPod interface that's gonna be out here in the other, where the other bar is. I believe there's also one here. Yes. You look right below that white plate on the wall. You see that little block there with two little, looks like the home stereo plug-ins? There'll be a cable you can hook into that and hook into your
The
iPod.
35 millimeter?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
And then you can put it there and then
And
control
it'll
it
be,
here.
yes, it'll
Okay.
come up on these pads.
Okay.
All right? Okay. All right, any other questions about the main volume controls for the areas?
I got a question.
Yes.
So there'll be a moment where we set levels for the dining room,
Mm-hmm.
and here,
Yes.
and then can all those levels be moved in proportion, so they're all
They're all
individually?
individual. This,
There's no master
there's no
volume?
master, not with these wall controls, no,
Okay.
okay?
But the volume has a number when you turn it?
It has a little bar graph.
There's a bar, so there's no way of setting.
It actually shows you, it reads out in levels, if you notice here. See, it says 55?
Right, so if you wanted 55 in the other one, you could
Yeah.
set them all to
You
55.
could set it all 55, yes. All right?
There's no guessing, like.
No guessing.
Like 3/4 of a bar or something.
No, it has actual numbers there.
Well, you said the iPod goes there, but where's the CD player?
The CD player is located in the rack in the basement.
Okay,
Okay? It's a Tascam CD player,
okay.
Server room, like.
server room. And we can show you where that's at. You
So
have the
somebody
access
who's
card.
renting that room will-
No, I gave it to Corey, but yeah.
Okay, we'll give that back.
CD.
Okay, now, how many of you actually will be doing work on the second floor with the meeting rooms, boardroom, and the grand hall?
You will
Okay.
too.
Okay. I'll need to take you upstairs and we'll go through those. They're basically, the only real difference is you have video controls.
Right.
And of course, the grand hall has a facilitator plate for events, which has not been put in yet because of the flooring and the walls, so.
Okay.
We'll tell you where it's at and we'll show it to you, all right? Okay, I guess yes.
Before they leave, if you all could get and sign in on the sheet, please do so. We go upstairs on the second floor.
Okay, all right. We will be back, I think the plan was 2 weeks is what he said, to do additional training, and then 2 more weeks after that, we'll be back to do additional training again, so.
Will it be the same training each time for more people?
It's gonna be,
or-
it'll be for new people, if you need refresher on it, we'll be customizing the plates, of course, during that period of time, so maybe a few changes, a few tweaks here and there on those plates. So, we definitely wanna go over that with you again. Yes.
Just a question of curiosity, if the speakers are in, like, the wall or in the sheet, how does it not be muffled or muddled?
There's a thin layer over top of the speaker, they're designed specifically to go in the sheet.
So cool.
See, that way you don't see it. So if you get up there and hit the ceiling with something, then you could possibly damage your speaker.
Then you can like pop a hole in it or something.
Yes.
So it's like seamlessly, like, just. looks
Yes.
like
The
there's no-
speaker is embedded in the sheet rock, and there's a thin film that
There's
goes on
about
top.
an eighth of an inch. That's about it.
There's
And then
one
there's
here, and, there's
one to the right of the TV.
up on this wall here, they're embedded in this
That's
wall.
so cool.
So
And
it gets
then
to like
there's
be looking
six
for
more.
the speaker and like be staring at the sound source but not see it.
And then there's also 2 on this side of that bulkhead, and there's some ones on the other side of that bulkhead that covers the actual floor area.
Are we to the point where we can hear sound?
Not yet.
Okay.
So,
We're close.
Okay.
so if somebody was renting this space and they wanted to hang something from the ceiling, you would recommend putting push pins or anything in the ceiling?
They'll
Not that we would, but you never know.
be able to
Like,
do
so-
that,
Right,
yeah.
I just want to make that clear, let's not.
Just like these walls up here, you don't want to hang anything on these walls because you'll cover your speakers up.
In the event, and we do have one on the books, a potential that it's a complete buyout, and I need microphone service down here, will it operate the same way as it will upstairs, or?
No, microphone service is not built into this area in the cafeteria or the dining area. You do not have microphones here. You have microphones in the 2 meeting rooms, and you you have microphones in the grand hall.
If we needed to add that, is that major?
That's something we would have to discuss
Okay.
with our sales rep.
Because there will be times when a microphone would be needed in the restaurant.
Is there a device that you could, like an adapter or something that you could speak into the microphone and transmits it to like a receiver, and then that transmits it to the 3.5 millimeter jack?
That could be adapted to the iPod, yes, we can do that.
So do something like that.
Yeah. It's like you're dealing with line level versus microphone level, we can provide an adapter to get you into that.
And we can always bring an outside source, but if we have the ability, we've got the state of the art.
We can interface it through the iPod.
Okay, cool.
If necessary.
The iPod jack, is what we need.
I think there's another iPod jack up at the other bar too, if I recall. So-
And that would control
Well,
the dining room or the bar area?
Part of the bar area, yeah.
I was gonna say, would the wireless mic reach here, but you still wouldn't have the amplification unless we.
Well, the wireless mic, as long as we could get signal from here back up to or down to the basement, one of the server rooms. We also have a rack room on the second floor
Okay.
outside the ballroom that provides support for the.
But it still wouldn't, even if it worked down here, it wouldn't be hooked into the sound.
We could tie it in through the system that way.
Okay.
Provide a guy amplifier source in person. Use it.
Okay.
For instance, if you had an adapter and you plugged in, for instance, to the RCA jack, you could come over here, select that RCA jack on your wall source, and then turn it up and down the area.
And the wireless mic will
And the
probably
wireless mic
work.
will be plugged into that wall
Beautiful.
jack.
Yeah, we can do the wireless right here. So
Okay, cool.
That's, but we can make that.
Okay.
Okay, any other questions about this area down here? All right. Let's take a quick run down to the basement, and we'll show you where the server rack room is, and we'll get in there. Can we get that key?
I think he can get in there.
Yeah, the key to it. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and go out the elevators and we'll go down that area.
Can we just walk downstairs?
We can. It's going to be the sources for the three media devices you'll be able to select from. Okay. All right, in this rack, we have our switch, which is our main connection point to get to all the floors. We have amplifiers. All the main amplifiers are in this area. This is the actual Tessera server. This is what does all the sound processing for the entire building. We have 3 of these larger units. 2 of these are located on the 2nd floor. This is a sub-server just for some of the sources. All right? So if you're having difficulties with the system, first thing you do is come in here, turn your power off. Okay? This will reboot this entire rack. We set it back to default. And you may have to go to 2nd floor and do the same thing there. All right? That's in case nothing works. That's the worst case scenario. Only do that if nothing is working at all. All right?
If we lose power, like say power goes out for 5 minutes and then power comes back on, do we have to come down here and turn something on, or does
No.
everything come back up?
Right now, it will restart itself, come back up to default, and you shouldn't have to touch it.
Because I know some devices, when you lose power, they just stay turned off when power comes back on.
They did not spec any UPS backup systems in this project.
Right.
We recommend that they get put in, so we're going to be working with them to try to get a UPS backup, which means your system would not go down in that case. All right. There's also going to be a CD player, which is not here for the moment. It's going to go right here. This is where your CD for the entire building is. So whatever's playing in that, there'll be multiple areas that'll have access to play that music from that server. or that
So
player
only
system.
one CD at a time. If there's a CD playing in the
Yes.
restaurant, we can't play a CD on the second. Okay.
Just one CD is all they spec.
If that needs to be added later, a separate CD player for the
We'll have
second?
to look at it
Okay.
and work with them
Maybe
on
you
that.
choose just ask this, but like, so if there's a CD in there, can it be programmed so that it's playing on the 2nd floor, but then the normal music is playing on the
Yes,
restaurant?
yes, that's all selectable by your wall control.
Okay.
So if you, whatever source you select is what will play. So if you don't want the CD up in the dining area, say you want one of these media servers, you'll select the media server as your source. Okay? All right. That's about all I've got down here. I just wanted to make sure you knew where the location was, and your CD will be here, and these are your media players. You should never have to touch these unless they lock up. Just like any electronic equipment, like a computer, it can lock up from time to time. basically you have to come in and reboot it.
If we have a client that says, we want Pandora, blah, blah, blah station, is there a person that changes that?
No, that may be an answer question.
Okay.
I was under the assumption that they would be, channels would be selected and that would be.
Okay.
I think the Pandora more or less is going to be for the main. public
So if
space.
they want a specific music, they bring it in on an iPod or
Yeah,
iPad or
that would be what I
whatever.
would recommend.
Beautiful.
All right. Okay, for those of you that need to go to second floor, I guess we'll go up to that area, and we'll go ahead and start in the meeting rooms and work our way around, all right? All right, this is meeting room 2. Just going to kind of go over the input sources you have. Again, you've got an iPod location here on the wall. There's power here to plug your iPod into. I think they're coming back with some kind of a tilt-down floor they're putting in here that you can rest it on. Here's the regular volume control, which is going to be programmed yet. It'll be for this room only, okay? So the sources will be basically the same source you've had in the other areas, plus a local input source. If you want to use anything in this room to play sound other than the iPod, you have to go to local, all right? And that entails these input plates down here. You've got the HDMI type laptop connection from a laptop or any other, like a DVD player that you want to bring in here and use. You've also got a VGA jack, which is the standard older type laptop equipment. So when you plug those in, whichever one you plug in first takes priority. So if you're playing the laptop that has an HDMI output on it, you plug it in, that's your source. If you take it and plug a VGA laptop in, that's your source. So this auto switches between those two. You have 2 microphone jacks here that's built into the system. You have individual microphone level controls for those. And it's all going to be basically right here on your controller.
It's a microphone.
Right.
Okay.
Okay? Now, again, this is your control interface for this room. This is an AMX wall control. If I want to turn the projector on and drop the screen, I press this button right here. Watch your heads. Your screen comes down, your projector lift comes out of the ceiling, and it turns the projector on for you automatically. Okay?
Oh my God, I'm so excited.
As you can see, it's coming on. Now, these projectors take about 30 seconds to warm up, and once it's on,
So you pulled it down and you had to turn it on.
it's just one
You
button.
hit one button, it does
One
everything.
button. Okay? All right, Matt. Now, you have
In the event, I'm sorry,
Go ahead.
in the event that we did not want to use our projector, but we needed the screen.
That's not built in,
Okay.
unfortunately. The keypad has limited amount of capacity. This is one they spec for the room.
Okay.
Okay. Now, you have 2 sources available on video here. You have PC, which is either one of these automatically. So when you select PC, when you plug in here, that's what's going to be shown. All right. You also have a TV source. And that right now, originally designed, that was supposed to be an individual TV tuner for this room only, but I've been told they've decided to go with one for the entire building. So that may change later on. So you're not going to be able to change the channels from here on that one tuner. It'll be predefined what comes out over the cable system. Okay?
But TV cable can play in all meeting spaces?
Yes.
Okay.
All meeting places simultaneously be the one source, whatever's decided that they're going to use. All right? So
And
right
whatever channel
now,
it's on is what they get to watch, and
that's
that's it,
correct.
one channel.
Yeah, originally we had planned to give you channel control so you could change channels on the TV tuner for this room, but that has changed. If they decide to go back to the original method, then these buttons will operate for that. Okay. You also have volume up and down. Excuse me. Yeah, right here. This is volume up and down. And this controls the volume from these plates right here and the mics. Okay? So you can raise and lower them. You have a volume mute, which turns the sound off in this room just for these plates. Does not turn off this other volume coming from the master.
So the master will not control volume coming from,
It will. So if you have it set for like your 60%, you can actually tweak these, just like we did with the other controls, it gives you a little extra fluctuation there to tweak your levels up and down.
So
a little bit.
when you've selected this outside source, the volume controls that, but you can tweak it there as well.
If you select local source on this plate, this volume here will control these.
Okay.
All right? Otherwise, if you select iPod or media servers for this
You'll
room,
have two
this
things.
controls it. Okay. I know it's a little complicated, but when I come back, we'll refine that a little bit. By that time, maybe they'll decide about the TV tuner and some other aspects that we need to tweak up. All right?
Question. So if someone comes in with a laptop, they'll either choose an HDMI connection or the VGA connection.
Yes.
So if they're choosing a VGA connection, VGA doesn't transmit sound, right? or audio.
There's an extra cable for that.
Okay.
And if you look right here above the jack, there's a little mic.
So they could plug their, on their laptop, they could plug audio out of their laptop into that, and
Yes.
it would, okay.
And that's a 35 millimeter too,
Yes,
right?
it is.
Yeah.
Is that the equivalent of an auxiliary port?
Same exact thing, yeah.
Yeah, you can actually use that as, if they brought another sound system in here or something they want to put through the system, you could actually utilize that and just select PC, and you'll get the sound from that through the system too, so. All right? Any other questions?
Could they put a DVD, they could also put in a DVD player to that HDMI, that's play something, that it would come
Yeah,
through
you
the
can see it.
transmitter, and then the sound would come through the HDMI.
Sound will come through the speakers. There's overhead speakers in the room here.
But the sound is transmitted through the HDMI
Yes.
from the player.
Yes. It automatically goes from here, back into the sound rack, and back into the room. All takes care of magic.
Pretty special.
Now, they've got the shade controllers here on the wall. This is RF wireless. We originally planned to control those with the system, but we cannot control RF, so they've got their own wall controller for the shades. Okay?
It's not part of your,
It's not part of mine.
that's something,
I can't
that'll
tell
be
you that.
somebody else.
But it will
So that's
eventually,
theirs, not
It's-
yours, I think.
This is theirs.
Okay.
but it will eventually work.
Oh, yes,
Yeah. Excuse me, I think that's the lighting, excuse me.
Yeah,
That's the
it's
lighting
lighting.
controller.
and I think that's gonna be controlled by tablet controllers, the lighting's controlled by, I'm not sure how that.
Yeah, there's supposed to be a shade control in here somewhere, but this is lighting control for this room. Okay. The only areas that we're gonna be doing lighting control in, for your information, is the boardroom and the ballroom.
I guess that's your lighting control right there.
Was it manual?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so this is manual shades in here. But anyway, the ballroom and the boardroom, we will control lighting. And we'll just do scene recalls for those. I think they're about a week away from actually setting up the scenes for those areas. All right, I don't know if we can get into meeting room 1, but the only thing you have in meeting room 1, you'll have a volume control just like this. You'll have a control like this, but there's only screen up and down and volume level for the interfaces that we have on the wall. All right? Again, I think we have one mic jack in there, if I recall. Okay. So it gives you a microphone control for that room. Okay?
That's great.
And if it's the wireless mic, you still just hit microphone and turn the wireless mic on.
If it's wireless, you have to plug it into something. Okay, just like in here, if you want to bring a wireless mic in here and use it, you'd have to plug in either through the iPod dock,
Okay.
or you could actually even use the PC, VGA PC audio.
So what are we plugging in?
Basically you got the 4 wireless mics, but those are only in the ballroom, correct?
Yeah, they have nothing to
Yep,
do with this.
they aren't in here.
If you want to bring an extra wireless mic in here from outside the system, you would bring it in, you come out of the wireless receiver that comes with the wireless system and plug it in either here.
Okay, but in the
or
ballroom,
here.
that's different. You
That's-
just walk in and turn
Yeah,
it on.
you just walk in and turn
Okay.
it on, right.
Okay.
And I can't demo all that to you today,
That's okay.
unfortunately, because they're still in there working, but we'll try to show you as much as we can.
Okay.
All right? Let's move on around to the boardroom then. In this room, we have 2 overhead speakers. We have the flat panel television, 70-inch flat TV. There will be a cadenza interface over here with a little switcher that you can hook up Mini Mac, whatever other devices you need to bring in here will hook into that switcher. Will be controlled by the system once you have everything hooked in, and I'll show you how to switch those in a moment. There'll also be another interface going into the floor pocket here for the tables. It's another switcher that gives you another way of interfacing into the system to plug in laptops or whatever. Okay. you want to bring another DVD player in here, you can plug it in just like we did in the other room. Located down on this wall, we have, again, your HDMI and your VGA sources like we had in the meeting rooms. There's two external microphone inputs extra. There's also called a Revo Labs wireless mic system. There are 8 wireless mics that go around this table. They just sit on the table. They're boundary mics. They work wirelessly back into the system. You just have to make sure you take those and put them back into the charger when you're not using them. There'll be a charger, I assume, over here on the cadenza. And they just set into the charger and recharge. Okay? And when you get ready to use them, just bring them out and set them on the table.
And what would you think the mic would be used for?
They'll be for meetings.
Like
I
to
think they plan to eventually do video conferencing out of this room, audio conferencing. So they're designed for that
For that
purpose.
purpose, okay.
You know, the microphones do not come out over the speakers. They're designed to go out to the other side. All right?
So they will not play over?
No. These wireless, you don't want them coming out of these speakers.
Okay.
If they did, they would feedback.
Right, okay.
But they're strictly for doing video conferencing or audio conferencing.
Awesome.
Okay? At some point, there's going to be a camera put in this room. That's what that hole in the wall is supposed to be for. Unfortunately, the camera this spec has been discontinued. You cannot get one. So we have to come up with a solution for that. All right?
I have a question before we get
Mhm.
So even here, and I was in the other rooms that way too, if they're plugging into HDMI, a lot of times they're running either do it into like a DVD player or a computer or something. Where would they sit their computer or DVD player?
Probably on one end of the cadenza here, I would assume. This cadenza is going to sit here against the wall, and maybe we can kind of hold it down this way, set that on there.
Well, I mean, like the other room, there's not going to be a credenza near.
Yeah, I know.
you know.
I know, that's,
You would expect an AP table, in the event that you need something like that, it should just be.
So they just wouldn't get to, okay, like sit with their laptop.
okay.
But if it's just a DVD player, it could sit on the drop-down panel. If it's just a laptop.
This drop down up here, you know, the iPod dock, I don't think you're going to be setting a DVD player or something. It's not that large a surface. I would recommend setting it around here or getting another table and setting here for it,
Okay.
just to set it on. Of course, you've also got the, you can set something on top of the cadenza and plug into that switcher source there too. Because you have, I think, 4 sources available on that switcher. And it will automatically select, once I get into the touch panel, I'll show you how it operates. Okay?
And the DVD, well, am I correct? The DVD player can actually sit on the table.
Yes, because you'll have inputs here and inputs here. So there's 2 different locations you can put it in. And there's also a DVD player in the rack room. That's down here, that's supported with the brain hole area.
So if it's one DVD, we wouldn't even need it to be in this room, it could be right there and be
Back
selected
there,
on
right.
the mouse.
That's correct.
Okay.
Okay. All right, up here is your primary controller. This is going to be capable of being wireless as well as fixed on the wall. Okay? I'm going to show you they do not have their wireless system installed up here yet for you to interface to. Once they have that, then you'll be able to press this button. This will kick out and you can lift it off and bring it over here to operate. Okay? And then when you're not using it wirelessly, you just put it back in the dock. Okay, first of all, if this is asleep, you don't see anything, just walk up here and touch the screen. It will light up. You go here and you press the main logo. You have 2 options. You can go into display or you can go into sound system only. If you're just coming in here to operate a meeting without using the equipment, you just press sound only. It brings you to level controls. This becomes your individual level controls. These are your sliders for level up, level down. You've got all of your wireless. These are your wireless microphones, along with the 2 additional mics here. Okay. If you want to turn a mic off, you can press that to mute it. Press that again to unmute it. All right. Very easy to control. You also have your line level sources. One of those. I don't know if I'm reading it.
Does each microphone have a number that goes with that?
Yes. Yeah, we can put a number on the back of the microphone. Let's show you which one they are. Okay, you have your iPod, and you also have your line level jacks down here. All right? This is your master speaker level for this room. This controls the speakers on the ceiling. If you just want to turn your speakers off, again, you can turn them off, turn them back Press here to go back to the logo page. It gives you the option. If you don't want to go back, you say no. It stays right where it's at. If you do want to go back, you say yes.
A question about the microphones, if you, like, say you said there's gonna be 8 microphones, say you had set out eight microphones expecting 8 people to show up, and only 7 showed up, then you got 1 microphone, does it sit on all the time, so that it's?
No, if you take and put it back on the dock,
Right,
it will turn it off.
but if it's sitting on the table,
It'll be on.
Yeah.
Unless you go here and turn it off,
Right,
yes.
so they need to, if there's like somebody who didn't make the meeting, they need to take it away and set it in the box, so that you're not getting that feedback, you're not getting.
Either that or just get into the panel and turn it off. It's muted. Okay,
Do the settings save each time you go back to it?
yes, they will go back. Once we're through programming, anytime you set a level, it's gonna be right there when you come back. All right? Okay, the next option is the display system. Now, it's important. I set my birth year up as passcode. I'm gonna tell you what it is now. Anyway, 1950, okay? In
Gotcha, hold.
1950. Zero, say okay. It takes you to the main control screen for this room. All right? So passcode is 1950. This button here, when you press it, will turn the display on, just like we did in the other room where the projector was. Okay? Turn the display off, you press it again, it turns the display off. All right? Over here, since we're not going to be interfacing with the shades, we're going to be taking this button off, because that shade control is not part of it. This is going to be the lighting control interface. When you press that, it brings up scene select. And we can have up to whatever number of scene selects they want. Right now I've just got 6 buttons there for the time being. That'll be defined once they get the lighting scenes for this room. You'll be able to punch a button and change what lighting you want just by pressing those. All right? Okay. Source selects. What you have here, you have table sources, you have credenza sources, and then you have other available sources that come from, such as the camera, the Mini-Mac, which will be sitting in, I think there's one dedicated to this room, I believe there's going to be one back at the rack as well. You have the TV tuner, which will give you the TV source that's going to be available to you. And you have your iPod, which will be right here as a sound source. All right? Whenever you press one of these sources, it will light up indicating which source you've selected. So on the table, you have 2 HDMI sources and a VGA source. That's what's available on that switcher. And it's going to be mounted underneath the table, and there'll be cables coming up from that allowing you to select which one you want. Same thing will happen on the credenza. The switcher over there will have either one of the 2 HDMIs or the VGA. And then you have, I think that's the camera. Yes, this is camera. And you notice we have a little arrow coming down pointing to that control interface. Once the camera's in place, you'll be able to pan or tilt it. Oops, I hit the dock station, don't do that. Cancel that. Okay, all right. Anyway, you can do the camera tilting or panning. You can be able to zoom in and out. And there'll be presets that you'll be able to set these up and store them. And what you would do is you would go to store a preset and you select which position you want to store it in. Okay? Such as 1. And to define that, you move your camera and you zoom in or zoom out, position it where you want it. You press set, and then whichever preset you want to store it in. Once it's set, you can go to another preset. It'll move there, and you come back to that preset that you just stored, it'll automatically come back to that position. Okay? Anybody have any questions about how that works? You move your camera around using these buttons to the right, pan, tilt, or zoom, and zoom out. You get it where you want it. You press set. You press the number that you want that stored at. Once it's stored, that button will go off. Then you can recall it by just pressing the preset button over here. Okay? I'll go over this again with you when we get back here a week or so. Hopefully we'll have a camera by that time and I can demo it. All right. The Mini Mac is supposed to be a source for this room. I believe it'll reside in this room. It also has an interface going into it, a USB interface that it can actually bring video in from other areas for you to show in this room. All right. This is the rack DVD, or excuse me, that was the TV tuner. This interface is actually going to go away on the TV since you're not going to have a tuner dedicated to this area, so you can just disregard that. Okay. Anything else I need to show you on this panel, or is that pretty much it? Okay. I'm going to show you how to undock this. Okay. We're going to lose connection, so it's not going to work until it has a chance to be established. Anyway, you press this button, press and hold it. It's going to say undocking. And I'm going to go ahead and undock it. Basically, you just lift it off the wall. Okay? It has its own little kickstand here, so you can bring it down here and set it on the table. Okay? That way you can actually operate from the meeting table. And then, when you're through with it, close it back up, bring it up here, set the bottom in, and just press it up against the wall. It'll redock. Okay? This is how it is recharged. So when you're not in the room, you're not going to be using it, make sure you put it back in the dock. Otherwise, it'll go dead on you.
How long did you say it would stay charged?
Probably about 8 hours. All right. Any other questions about this room? Hopefully we'll see a finished room when we get back in here the next time and be able to demo it a little better for you. All right, let's go down this way.
Oh, quick question.
Yeah.
Camera.
Uh-huh.
Can you record?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not set up to record.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, maybe this is
They-
a dumb question, but then what's the point of having a camera here if there's no projector?
A video conference.
Because I want to see somebody on Fox.
It's like Skype, so you can video conference someone
You have
else.
your computer set up with Skype on it.
I got
The camera will interface and it'll go back through the USB on your Mac Mini as your source. Okay, that's how it gets back into that Mac Mini. There's an
And people
interface
that are
over for that.
receiving that feed on their computer, there are programs that you can like capture your screen and record
Right.
video that way, so.
Yeah, if you have that capability on the Mac that you're putting in here, then you'll be able to respond.
So they're using a Mac to do the teleconferencing or the video conferencing?
Apparently, that's what it looks like. they
Because
have.
if they use their own laptop and they Skype, usually it's the camera in their own laptop that does the video.
Yeah, you can do it that way, but if you're doing it in this room with the Mac Mini, then it would be set up to interface the camera into that as your source. So it's a USB source.
You have, if you're video conferencing with our camera, you have to use our Mac Mini. If they're doing it with their laptop and they're Skyping, then they use their
Camera
they'll
does.
use our camera.
That's correct.
And that's the facial recognition.
Yes. Yeah.
More or less.
Whatever.
Okay.
Okay? All right, any other questions about this room? All right, let's move on around towards the ballroom. Second floor. We again have two audio processing servers here. We have amplifiers that takes care of the boardroom and the two meeting rooms, both controlled from here. This is the main video switcher from all those wall plates. You plug your laptop and your VGA into. Any other sources such as this is a Denon DVD player. It's primarily meant for the ballroom, but I can set it up so we can actually use it in the boardroom as well. Okay? These are the system controllers, the AMX wall controllers that I showed you, the touch panel interfaces. We've got one for the ballroom, one for the boardroom, and we've got one that does the two meeting rooms. These are wireless assistive listening systems. We have 4. These are for the ballroom. Excuse me, ballroom, boardroom, two meeting rooms. Yeah, right. Ballroom, boardroom, two meeting rooms individually. So if you're a hearing impaired person, there's a little receiver pack that comes on the belt and an earbud. All right. We have 4 wireless mics available to you for for the ballroom. 4 wireless. These are handhelds.
The same time that
They're all Sennheisers. Pardon me?
same time that we're in the boardroom?
No. Those are little boundary mics that goes in the boardroom. They're little square boxes that sit on the table. These are actually handheld stick performing mics. Those perform receivers for those 4 wireless mics.
How many handhelds can I have active in the radio?
You can have as many as you have jacks. If you have, wish I could show you those jacks, or I think, I don't know how many inputs are on this, but I think there's 16. I believe it's 16.
Okay, so the jacks, if it's a wireless mic, we're not hooking anything out here.
No,
Okay.
just pick them up,
Right.
turn them on, you're ready to go.
Now, are those the same for lavaliers, body mics? Do we have those?
I believe they're just handhelds. I'm not sure. I'll have to look at that.
Okay.
Whatever they spec for the system is what you've got. I believe they're all handhelds, but I won't guarantee that.
So when I have to bring in body mics and lavaliers, where do I hook
You
those
plug in through one of the physical jacks.
Okay.
Just come out of the back of the receiver with a regular microphone cable. Plug it straight into one of the jacks and use that.
Okay. And you can't plug in back here?
No, it's all out here.
Okay.
This is going to be a facilitator plate that goes on that wall below the touch panel. And we're going to have interfaces up here, just like you did on the other rooms for iPod. No iPod, you can say that. HDMI, VGA for your PC connections, okay? These are microphone inputs. You have 3 at this location. These are line level outputs to feed other, say if a press comes in here and need an audio feed from your mic system, they can plug in right here and get that feed. Okay, these are speaker jacks. So if they bring in other speakers that you want to set up, like floor monitors, just like on a regular production system, they can plug into these. These go to a patch panel in the rack. And I'll show you that before we leave here. You can actually take a signal from the system and plug in individually whichever jack you need to feed. For either here, and on the ceiling, there's 4 outlets on the ceiling as well.
For a hung
For hung
system.
speakers.
Okay. Oh my God, that's fabulous.
You've got, these are network type jacks.
So
You can
once
actually
they
do a
come
lot.
in, the outside vendor comes in and hands, we have to physically, manually in the brain room.
Yes, attach it to it. You'll have 2 jacks on the ceiling for lighting control. On those interfaces on the ceiling, I wish I could get in there and show you these, because there's one on that side of the room and one on this side of the room on the ceiling. You have 2 speaker outputs and a network jack up there. Okay, the network is designed for lighting control. It just goes through this panel straight up to this.
So intelligent instrument, we can hook in and control it
Yes.
from a DMX board
Yes,
and all that.
that's correct. Plug in down here, control it up there.
Oh,
Okay.
good.
Let's see. I don't know what the others. These will be labeled. I'm trying to remember what they were.
One is lighting control.
This lighting for 2 locations.
2 are, I should know, I terminated them.
Maybe a standard network jack here.
Yes, there is one of those.
CobraNet.
Yeah.
There's a CobraNet feed. I quite don't know what CobraNet is. It's an audio way of transmitting audio from one device to another. Okay, it's like a network type feed for audio. But that allows them to come in, plug their equipment into the system and be able to interface with our system.
So if they're solely using the outside vendor system, that's where they can plug.
Yes. Okay. These speaker jacks right here can be patched. And I'll show you where the patch is when we go back in.
And we'll eventually have a preview and we'll
Yeah.
actually physically do it.
Right, that's correct. Okay? Go ahead.
Do something though, dance.
All right. Okay, any questions so far? I know it's kind of sketchy to try to demo this to you right now, but
It's actually fairly intuitive. Some of this stuff I'm gonna basically want to see just so I'm getting the right.
once we have it in place and everything labeled for you, then you'll be able to see a little more
And
of how I
most
feel.
all the vendors that are coming in are gonna be